3 epic signs God is leading you to his plan. Find out why you're waiting today. The night was cloak-like, wrapping the small town in a shroud of mystery. Beneath the pale glow of the street lamp, shadows danced as if whispering secrets only the brave could uncover. The air buzzed, thick with an unexplainable energy, one that pricked at the skin and sent shivers down spines. This was no ordinary night. It felt like a turning point. At the old church on the corner, eerily beautiful stained glass windows glimmered, casting a kaleidoscope of haunting colors on the cobblestone path below. A murmur rippled through the street when an unusual noise shattered the silence. 3 distinct chimes that echoed like distant, ghostly bells. People paused, exchanging anxious glances, their pulses quickening. What was that? The first strange element came from Sarah, a quiet girl known for her affinity with the supernatural. With wide eyes, she clutched a dusty tome that seemed to have appeared from nowhere. "It's a sign," she whispered, her voice shaky as she flipped through pages of worn parchment, illuminating words that ignited excitement and fear. Traits of a prophecy filled the room, one that seemed to pulsate with life. Her fingers trembled as she traced her favorite quote, "Those who listen will find the paths guided by light." But there was tension simmering just beneath the surface. Strange shadows flickered at the corner of the eye. Was it the late hour, or something more? An unexplained chill followed Anna, who had just returned from a late-night jog. Her breath came out in visible puffs, and she claimed she felt a presence behind her, something spectral, lurking just out of sight, but always there. Everyone leaned closer, yearning for answers, but finding only questions tangled in the air. "Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect." Returning to their quiet, anxious circle, everyone felt the weight of the night press down on them. Sarah continued reading. She sensed the gravity behind her words, the thrill of something divine unfurling just beyond reach. An electric silence hung, almost blinding, before anyone ventured another thought. What if they were all woven into a grander story? One that would propel them toward an unimaginable journey? And then came the final kicker, the moment that seized breath. A shooting star blistered through the night sky, defying reason with its fiery path. It wasn't he the first to streak across those stars tonight, but the urgency in its light felt different. That very second painted the frame of their uncertainty, and they wondered, what was so special about this evening? What awaited them, hidden in the shadows? Would their lives shift, compelled into a destiny beyond their wildest dreams? The shooting star faded, leaving behind a lingering trace of light that slowly melded back into the inky darkness. The breathless hush settled around the small group, a shared belief cementing them in this untouched moment of wonder. But the air began to shift as if the night itself caught a breath, ready to exhale secrets. "Did you see it?" Anna broke the silence, eyes wide as she turned to the others. "It felt different. Almost like it was for us." Her pulse raced in syncopation with the inexplicable energy of the night. The group looked at each other, brimming with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. Sarah, still clutching her tome, felt a jolt of warmth wrapping around her heart. It urged her to speak, to guide them. "The signs are here," she said, voice steadying. "But we have to listen closely. The prophecy speaks not just to the world but to us." The chatter grew, voices overlapping as each person shared what they felt: different, beautiful, yet terrifying. But before they could dive deeper into their thoughts, a sudden rush of wind swept through the churchyard, rattling leaves like dreadful whispers. Shadows extended and twisted unnaturally, creeping towards them. "Did you feel that?" Michael, the skeptic of the group, squinted into the shadows. His voice held a trace of disbelief and a hint of fear. The shadows swirled, coiling like tendrils reaching for something intangible in the air, and for a heartbeat, the group froze. That it was Sarah who broke the spell. "We have to move. There's something we need to find." Her words cut through the tension, reinvigorating their senses. "The book talks about a place. A way to connect to what's guiding us." "Where?" Anna urged, the urgency sparking in her voice again. "Near the old oak tree," Sarah guided them, "where the roots dive deep. It's said to meet at the heart of the night." Nods of determination replaced their fear. They submerged themselves in the motion, a solid united force, almost as if their instincts were aligned by an unseen compass. As they made their way through the cobblestone streets, each step echoed, resonating with the steady rhythm of their racing hearts. The night seemed to hold its breath, surrounding them with clammy silence. Once they reached the massive oak, gnarled and ancient, a flicker of dread brushed over them again. The shadows no longer felt like mere tricks of the mind, they pulsated with life, laced with an energy that was no longer benign. Sarah's fingers ran along the rough bark, searching for something to latch onto. Suddenly, the air thickened, and a low rumble echoed overhead. A storm? It was too quiet for thunder. Then came a flash of blinding brightness that split the sky open. Gasps filled the air as everyone shielded their eyes. When the light dissipated, a figure stood beneath the oak. Shimmering, almost translucent, it radiated a warmth that caressed their skin. It was unlike anything they had witnessed. The figure gazed upon them with eyes that sparked, pulling at their very souls. "Why have you come?" Its voice resonated like a bell, harmonizing with the night's tension-filled silence. The group stared, words tangling in their throats. The question hung heavily in the air, a challenge and an invitation intertwined, and just when they thought they were unraveling the mystery, a shadow darted past, slicing through the scene with a sudden ferocity that shattered the moment. The energy shifted from curiosity to sheer panic as the world around them trembled. "Run!" Anna screamed, heart in her throat. Something was coming, and whatever it was determined to claim them. With fear thrumming in their veins, they fled under the looming tree, unsure of the fate that awaited them. What had they uncovered in the veil of night? What forces were now at play? As they sprinted into the darkness, the question echoed in their minds: could they really escape the destiny that called them? And what had they awakened? The group bolted, their breath coming in ragged gasps as they plunged deeper into the shadows. The air buzzed with tension, each heartbeat thudding like a war drum in their chests. Branches whipped at their faces as they sprinted, a relentless chorus of snapping twigs and rustling leaves accompanying their desperate escape. What was that? Michael panted, sweat dripping from his brow. He cast a panicked glance over his shoulder as if expecting the unknown creature to materialize from the darkness. "I don't know." Anna shouted, skirting around a fallen log. "Just keep running." The urge to look back clawed at her, but fear pressed her forward. The figure from before lingered in her mind, a radiant contrast to the encroaching dread. What did it want? Questions tumbled over themselves. Were they ready for whatever truth was hidden just beyond grasp? Suddenly, Sarah stumbled, her ankle twisting underneath her. She gasped and fell to the ground, the weight of desperation pinching at them all. "Sarah! Are you all right?" Anna skidded to a stop, adrenaline sending a pulse of panic through her. I think I'm okay." Sarah grimaced, trying to stand but faltering, her chest tightening with fear and pain. "Help her!" Michael shouted, urgency making his voice sharp. They quickly formed a circle around Sarah, knees hitting the ground. "Just breathe, okay? We need to move," Anna said, her voice firm despite the wildness of their surroundings. But just as they began to rise, the atmosphere shifted again. Dread permeated the air like a thick fog. It felt like they were being surrounded. Then came the first growl, a low rumble that vibrated through their bones. The sound echoed into the vastness of the night, louder than the chaos in their hearts. "Run!" Michael insisted even more forcefully this time. Ignoring the throb of pain in her ankle, Sarah pushed herself to her feet, leaning against Anna for support. "I can go," she insisted bravely, but Anna's eyes darted around, a new resolve sparking within her. "I'm not leaving you," she said with an unwavering voice. Fear and courage intertwined as they regrouped, moving like a single entity, clinging tightly as they sought a path away from the looming threat. The growl chased them, relentless and hungry. Shadows danced like malevolent spirits as they hurried down a narrow path, their breaths becoming labored. The trees flickered by, streaks of earthy brown and deep green merging into one. "What if it's the prophecy?" Sarah gasped, her words tumbling out. "What if we're meant to face whatever it is?" "What do you mean?" Michael shot back, panic bubbling over. "Maybe it's a test." She pressed on, igniting a flicker of defiance. "The book spoke of trials. We can't let fear dictate our choices. Then we face it together," Anna declared boldly, though her hands trembled slightly. There was a fire igniting in her chest, pushing her forward despite the darkness. They pressed on, their steps sending stirring whispers through the night. Eventually, they stumbled into a clearing. Moonlight spilled over them, illuminating a larger fragment of the night. Their hearts raced, a mix of hope and terror. In the center of the clearing stood an altar-like stone, covered in symbols they had never seen, pulsating softly under the celestial glow. The air felt electric, an invitation echoing through the silence. "Do we dare approach?" Michael inquired, fear overshadowed by curiosity. Before anyone could answer, the growl returned, this time interspersed with a guttural roar that rattled their bones, stirring ancient echoes. Something was close. "Let us go," Sarah urged, pulling them toward the stone. And just as they advanced, the shadows around them shifted violently, an ominous whirlwind of darkness blurring into something monstrous. Time stretched, hearts pounding like thunder. What would they awaken by daring to confront the stone's ominous pull? The question loomed heavy in the air, and as the shadows curled around their feet, they had no choice but to face whatever came next. The echoes of fate were only beginning to resound. What had they summoned? In their reckless pursuit of answers. As the shadows swirled around them, the growl morphed into a chorus of snarls that echoed in the clearing, filling the air with a chilling vibration. The altar stood firm, a paradox of serenity in the chaos, but anxiety clawed at their insides. "What is that?" Sarah whispered, her voice a strangled breath. Michael's eyes widened as he caught sight of the creature emerging from the gloom. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, massive, with eyes glinting like hot coals, and a coat that shimmered with a darkness deeper than the night itself. Fear clenched at their hearts, the kind that left them paralyzed, but Anna's instinct screamed for action. "Back to the stone," she commanded, her voice rising above the impending terror, channeling a reservoir of courage. They scrambled toward the altar, uncertainty driving their footsteps faster, desperation affecting their coordination. The growling intensified, a sound that seemed to weave through the very fabric of the night. "Keep your eyes on the stone," Anna shouted, as the beast lunged, narrowly missing Michael, who stumbled backward, his breath hitching in his throat. "Seriously, what are we doing?" Michael yelled, panic tightening his chest. This was a horrible idea. "Just trust me," Anna insisted, urgency fueling every syllable. The older legend in her mind echoed, reminding her of power waiting to be unlocked. The stone's symbols pulsated brighter, drawing them in. They circled around it, catching the glint of whatever ancient magic lay within. "What if it's a trap?" Sarah groaned, cradling her injured ankle, trying to push down the wave of nausea that threatened to swallow her. The creature snarled, a sound of pure menace, causing the air to thrum with tension. It felt as if time itself had taken a sharp, piercing breath, holding them suspended in this moment. "Sarah!" Michael rushed to her side, gripping her arm with unyielding strength. "We can't let fear win. You said it's a test. We need to confront whatever this is together." Heat pulsed around the stone like an electric current, and as they gathered close, the symbols flared with an intensity that blinded them for a moment. The growl escalated into an ear-splitting roar, shaking the ground beneath their feet. "Hold on!" Anna cried out. Panic morphed into clarity as they clung to each other. Suddenly, a fierce light erupted from the altar, filling the clearing with a blinding glow. The creature recoiled, howling in a way that sent tremors through their chests. "What is happening?" Sarah gasped, her head reeling, the energy wrapping around her like a blanket of fire. "It's the stone. It's reacting to us." Anna shouted, a mixture of awe and fear dancing across her face. As the resonating glow enveloped them, they heard a voice, soft yet booming, piercing through the roar of chaos. "The chosen one's, the path to truth opens for you," it intoned, each word sharp, beckoning, echoing deeply within their souls, but a sudden shift in the atmosphere provoked dread within their hearts. The creature lunged again, its massive bulk defying the brilliance around the stone. Fear combined with the light became an electric surge coursing through them, weaving a tapestry of action and uncertainty. "Make the choice." The voice commanded, urgency tinging every syllable. What would they choose in this pivotal moment? But before they could think, the light wavered, and shadows twisted into a maw of darkness, leaving them standing at a precipice between light and the lurking threat. Would they embrace the unknown, risking everything on what lay ahead? Or would they retreat, allowing the creature to devour them whole? The decision hummed weightily in the air, and as the shadows threatened to close in, an even greater revelation loomed: what truth awaited them in the labyrinth of choices they were about to make. The air thickened with tension, every heartbeat echoing ominously as Michael glanced between his friends and the looming creature. Its form quivered, muscles coiling as it prepared for another strike. "Anna! We need a plan!" he shouted, panic clawing at his throat. She felt it too, the weight of their fate pressing down, indistinct whispers in her mind urging her to remember. The legends danced before her eyes, the images of ancient warriors and sacred bonds. "We must stand together. The stone reacts to our unity. If we falter, it'll be our end. What if this is all a trap?" Sarah's voice quaked, her eyes flicking nervously to the beast. "We don't know what will happen. I'm willing to risk it. Aren't you?" Anna snapped back, frustration flaring. The creature roared again, a vicious sound that sent vibrations through the soil beneath them. Michael stepped beside Anna, determination igniting within him. "We can't afford to doubt. If we lose our faith, we'll lose everything." The words sparked something in Sarah, a faint light within the engulfing darkness. What if we fight? What if we draw its attention and the stone gives us power? Then let us do it. Anna urged, a sudden surge of adrenaline coursing through her. They stepped closer together, hands clasped, grounding one another in the swirling chaos. Together, they turned to face the beast, channeling all their fear into a singular focus. The stone glowed brighter, pulsing with their resolve, as if affirming their intentions. The growling intensified, but they stood firm, hearts pounding in unison. "On the count of 3. Anna shouted, her voice ringing with newfound strength. 1, 2, 3. They unleashed a primal scream, throwing their heads back to the night sky, their voices weaving into one powerful force that echoed around the clearing. The creature froze, its eyes narrowing, confused by the sudden audacity. "Now!" Anna commanded, and they surged forward, their unity piercing the darkness like a beacon. The light from the stone expanded, enveloping the altar and birthing a brilliant wave that rushed toward the creature. In a flash, the beast shifted, shadows forming into menacing shapes that danced around it, struggling against the light. The whispers grew louder, urging them, guiding them. "You have the power to choose." The voice thundered again, resonating deep within their bones. "Embrace it and the darkness will fade." With each step they took, the ground shook beneath them. The creature, caught in the waves of light, roared in defiance, but Anna, Sarah, and Michael pressed on, fueled by a collective strength that threatened to shatter the night. As they neared the creature, the symbolism of the stone illuminated all around them. The snarl morphed, not into a cry of rage, but confusion. The shadows recoiled, swirling like smoke trying to escape the flame. "Remember who you are." The insistent voice echoed, sending shivers down their spines, and then a fissure in the darkness. Anna's heart raced, a moment of clarity washed over her. She turned to her friends, their faces illuminated by the pulsing light, terror lining their features but also hope. "We are the chosen ones. We have to let the light guide us." Suddenly, the beast lunged, breaking from its paralysis, its massive maw aimed at them. Instinctively, they raised their hands. The light surged, reaching out to the creature and pushing back against the shadows. Something deep within Anna stirred, an untapped well of power, but then, a shudder rippled through the earth, and a voice close, terrifying whispered in her ear. "What if it isn't just the creature that threatens you? What if the shadows carry a secret one that binds you to the darkness as much as the light?" As she processed the words, the light flickered, revealing a decision looming before them with revelation threaded in every path they could take. Their fates now intertwined, they teetered on the brink of a truth that could change everything. What lay behind the choice? Would they unravel the shadows or succumb to their pull? The answer churned within the chaos, waiting to be discovered. The air shifted again, a palpable unease taking root as Anna struggled to make sense of the whispers in her ear. She could feel it was there, a dark weight dragging at her resolve. The creature trembled, then lunged again. "Anna! Hold your ground." Michael's voice cut through the tension, sharp and urgent. They hadn't come this far to back down now. "Together!" Anna cried, rallying her friends, their hands still tightly clasped, interlinked like strands in a web of shared fate. "We can't let fear steal our power." They faced the beast, nerves alive in a way that was intoxicating yet terrifying. The stone pulsed, an ethereal blue light radiating from deep within its core, washing over the clearing like moonlight. It felt like a heartbeat steady and fierce. With renewed determination, they honed their focus on the creature. Its form shifted, jagged edges blurring as if the shadows themselves were alive, plotting against them. As they stood unmoving, whispers echoed in Anna's mind. What if you choose the darkness? What if it offers greater strength? Michael's eyes narrowed, a flicker of fear underlining his bravery. "We have to stop it before it stops us." Anna closed her eyes, feeling the heat from the stone seep into her palms. "We need to remember our purpose. It isn't just about fighting. It's about forging a path toward the light." A surge of warmth spread through the group, binding their hearts even closer. The stone reacted violently to their unifying spark, the glow intensifying, swirling in patterns around them. The shadows surrounding the beast quivered again, and the beast faltered, its growl drowning in the sudden brilliance that engulfed everything. "Now!" Anna shouted, and they pushed forward, hands raised, unleashing their power. The light twisted wildly, wrapping around the creature like a lasso. The roar pierced the air, echoing like a band breaking under pressure. Suddenly, a blinding flash erupted, and the shadows recoiled as though scalded. The beast's confusion morphed into rage, and with a raw snarl, it was upon them again, teeth bared, aiming directly for Anna. A cold dread gripped her heart. She couldn't move. Time slowed, each second stretching into eternity. But before the onslaught could reach her, an unseen force flared, deflecting the creature's powerful maw millimeters from her face. What just happened? Sarah gasped, disbelief pooling in her words. The shadows began to twist, spiraling into the air as if seeking an escape. The stone pulsed, brighter than ever, illuminating Anna's face with fierce clarity. "It's the light. We're breaking its hold." But as the shadows dissolved, Anna caught a glimpse of something lurking behind them. Images flickered like a film reel, the faces of past warriors, each bearing the same burden. Were they also faced with such insidious darkness? Her heart raced as she questioned the fragility of their connection. "Wait," she called, confusion surging through her. What if we're not the only ones here? What if this creature is a guardian against something far worse?" Michael's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" The legend spoke of a balance and infinite cycle of light and dark. What if the beast is keeping another threat at bay? A pulse of doubt danced in the air, but the shadows twitched restlessly, retreating like an animal sensing the approaching storm. They needed to act. They needed to decide quickly. Do we fight or do we find a way to understand? Anna's heart raced with the weight of her words. The howls of the creature echoed, a hollow sound that resonated with anguish. The area buzzed with expectation, choices dangling in the air. The truth lay before them, cloaked in shadows and unraveling like an ancient tapestry. They felt the pull toward the unknown with knowledge resting just beyond their grasp. Would they confront the beast, or leap into the depths of the mystery awaiting them? Shadows danced in the flickering light, eager to trap them if they dared falter. Only one truth remained clear: the moment was fleeting, the danger still imminent, and a revelation had begun to emerge, something that would alter their fate forever. What final secret would they uncover? What lay deeper in the heart of darkness? Anna held her breath, waiting for the moment to crystallize. The ground trembled beneath their feet, the air thickening with tension. Anna could feel the creature's fury radiate like heat waves as it fought against the light binding it. The whispers grew more frantic, curdling her thoughts, distorting the edges of her resolve. "Make the call, Anna!" Michael shouted, urgency cracking his voice, pulling her back from the abyss of indecision. She glanced at her friends, their faces a mix of determination and fear. Each was a reflection of her own trepidation, yet they stood united, hearts pounding in synchrony. They were not warriors, but explorers navigating the unseen. What if the darkness is just the beginning? Anna murmured, hands trembling as the stone pulsed with each word. If we destroy the beast, what if something worse still lurks in the shadows? Michael's momentary pause echoed in her soul. Do we take that risk? He asked, his face shadowed with doubt. The growls faded into a haunting silence, as if the world itself held its breath, waiting for her answer. The bond they forged felt precarious, a fragile thread connecting their fates. Maybe we can reach it," Anna proposed, her voice rising above the uncertainty. Not all monsters are made to be vanquished. What if this creature is fighting for something greater? A flicker of skepticism flickered across Sarah's features. You think we can reason with it? What if it turns on us? The beast, momentarily subdued, watched them with an intelligence that chilled Anna to her core. Its shadowed eyes bore into her, a depth of pain reflected back that she couldn't quite ignore. Let us reach out, Anna breathed, feeling the heat from the stone. We'll connect, together. We must try before we act. They all hesitated, but the memory of their shared struggle lit a fire within them, urging them to move as one. Squeezing their hands tighter together, Anna focused. On the count of 3. 3. 2. 1. The stone exploded with energy, cascading waves of blue light enveloping them. They were lifted from the ground, floating momentarily as the brilliance erupted around them. A raw howl erupted from the creature as the light interlaced with shadows, creating an intricate tapestry of power that shimmered between them. It felt like dancing on a razor's edge, exquisite yet perilous. Before she knew it, Anna found herself standing at the edge of the light, staring straight into the creature's eyes. She searched for something, anything that connected them. What do you want? Anna whispered, the words escaping her lips like a prayer. The shadows shivered, gathered, and for a fleeting moment, she thought she could see a reflection of hopelessness mirrored back at her. It was the anguish of an age-old battle, one that transcended the moment, reaching deep into ancient history. Something changed within the creature, an acceptance, perhaps. It paused, the growls morphing into a low rumble, vibrating with pain and something more profound, fear. The beast began to dematerialize, the shadows cascading away in streams of darkness, revealing an expanse of void behind. Something was coming, something far bigger than they could comprehend. It was an echo of a distant, malevolent force, shifting in the periphery. Stay focused. Michael warned, pulling Anna back as the shadows twisted angrily. We can't just let it fade away. She cried, but a deep sense of foreboding gripped her heart. A sudden blast of cold air swept through the clearing, bringing with it a sound like thunder rumbling in the distance. The very atmosphere shifted, thickening with the weight of an unseen storm. Whispers swarmed around them again, louder now, almost discernible. "What are you hiding?" Anna shouted defiantly. As the creature faded, a single piercing scream erupted from beyond the veil, a sound that would haunt their dreams. And then, silence fell upon them, stifling and absolute. Beckoning them to make a decision. What next step would they take? The darkness loomed heavy, and the promise of revealing the lurking horrors awaited only a breath away. Anna held her breath, wondering what waited at the end of this twisted path. Would they be prepared for what came next? Would they be able to conquer not just the shadows outside, but the fears that dwelled within? The silence stretched, thick and suffocating, wrapping around them like a shroud. The whispers ebbed and flowed, a tide of uncertainty crashing against the shore of Anna's resolve. She looked around at her companions, their faces painted with apprehension, yet their eyes ignited with an unyielding fire. "Did you hear that?" Sarah's voice trembled, her gaze darting toward the encroaching darkness. The shadows blended, swirling and pulsing as if they possessed a life of their own. "Yeah," Michael replied, clenching his fists at his side. "Whatever that creature was, it's not gone. It left something behind." A chill crept up Anna's spine. "We need to figure out what it wants. This silence isn't normal." As she took a step forward, the ground beneath them quivered once more. The air thickened, prickling against her skin, leaching warmth from her very core. A sudden surge of adrenaline coursed through her as she felt the gravitational pull of the shadows growing stronger. "Anna, wait!" Michael shouted, reaching for her just as a colossal figure took shape from the darkness. The creature materialized with a ferocity her heart could almost hear beating through the tremors beneath them. This didn't feel like the creature they had just confronted. No, this was a different presence, more powerful and malevolent, a storm of agony wrapped in shadows. "Everyone, back!" Anna cried, urging her friends to retreat. They stumbled backward but didn't turn. Together, they formed a line, their shoulders pressed tight as if they could draw strength from one another. The air hummed with electric tension, and Anna felt the stone in her palm pulsating rhythmically, urging her to act. "What now?" Sarah gazed at Anna, her voice barely a whisper. Anna scanned the creature, searching its face for any hint of weakness or fear. "We need to find out what it's after. We can't just destroy it without knowing its story." "That's a dangerous gamble," Michael warned, fear etched across his brow. "I know," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. "But we can't fight shadows with more shadow. We have to." Before she could finish, a bellow erupted from the creature, tearing through the night like a cannon shot. It felt like the very ground split open, shaking the air around them, a primal scream that set her teeth on edge. "Get down!" Michael yelled, pushing Anna to the ground just as a surge of dark energy cascaded toward them. The blast hit, and the world twisted upside down. Shadows wrapped around them, pulling them apart, the binding light struggling against the darkness surging forward. They were scattered like leaves in a storm. "Anna!" Michael's voice called out, distant, echoing through the chaos. She felt the grip of the shadows tighten, pulling her toward an abyss that whispered her name, echoing her deepest fears. It preyed upon her insecurities, the doubts that often loomed within her, the nagging feeling that she was never enough. "Fight it!" Her mind screamed, a primal instinct sparking inside her. She fought against the current, her fingers outstretched toward the stone's light. Suddenly, a burst of illumination erupted from the stone's core, piercing through the darkness. Anna felt warmth envelop her, and as she opened her eyes, she saw the creature recoiling from the light, shifting uneasily as though it could sense her rising strength. They needed to unite. A single flicker of hope could ignite a fire strong enough to dispel the shadows between them. "Join hands!" she shouted, reaching for her friends. "This is our moment." As they grasped one another, the shadows writhed, flickering like a dying ember. The darkness around them thrummed with a tension that made her heart race. But just as the light wrapped around them, she saw something in the creature's eyes, something wide and terrified. A harbinger of truths yet to be unveiled. "Will you hear me?" it intoned, each word heavy with sorrow. Anna's heart raced, not just from fear but from the weight of possibility. The monster might have a story that would turn everything upside down. Could this connection lead them to answers? What lay behind that veil of shadows? As the world around them spiraled into chaos, a flicker of understanding ignited within her. "What are you trying to tell us?" The moment hung in the air, poised on the edge of revelation, ready to twist their fates forever. The creature's eyes shimmered like dark glass, reflecting the flicker of light that surrounded Anna and her friends. The tension crackled in the air, edging the edges of their resolve. "Please," it pleaded, its voice a low rumble that vibrated through Anna's bones. "You must see beyond the shadows." Shivers danced down her spine. She could feel their united hands tightening with fear but also hope. They held on as if their grip could stave off the fear gnawing at their hearts. "What do you want?" Anna asked, her voice steadier than she felt, the light from the stone pulsing rhythmically in sync with her heartbeat. The creature shifted, its form wavering in the dim brightness. "I am tied to the darkness, but I have not always been." It paused, as if gathering memories strewn across the depths of its existence. "Here, in this place, lies a choice that could shatter or save." "Shatter or save?" Michael echoed, his knuckles white as he held on, breathing fast. "What are you talking about?" "You face the darkness within yourselves." The creature roared, its shadowy tendrils lashing out as if to emphasize its point. "You must confront what you fear most." An icy tendril of dread wrapped around Anna's heart. What did that mean for them? The shadows around them pulsed with an energy that seemed to amplify her deepest insecurities. She felt exposed, vulnerable, with all her doubts rising like specters. "Do you see?" The creature's voice dropped to a whisper now, almost soothing, as if it could sense their fears. "Your greatest torment lies within. Only by facing it will you break the chains of your own making." Anna glanced at Sarah, whose expression mirrored her own fear. The cries of the creature blended with the whispers in her mind, creating a cacophony that drowned out rational thought. What if confronting their fears meant unearthing truths they weren't ready to face? The shadows began to swirl faster around them, an unforeseen storm, and Anna felt her grip on the light waver. "We can't just let it pull us apart," she shouted, desperate to hold her friends together. "We have to fight it." "Fight it?" The creature challenged, a flicker of an unsettling smile crossing its shadowy features. "Or join in a dance with it?" "Enough games." Anna shot back, frustration bubbling. "What do we do?" Silence fell, a vacuum sucking the noise away, leaving only their ragged breaths. The creature studied them, and for a moment, Anna believed she saw a hint of compassion in its dark gaze. "Choose to see." It stretched a shadowy arm outward, a gesture that sent cascading echoes through the air. "The light reveals truth, fear hides it. Face your fears together. Only then can you unravel the ties that bind you to this place." Michael's grip on her hand slackened, and Anna felt the shift, the uncertainty creeping back in. "What if we can't?" he whispered, his voice fraught with worry. "No," Anna said, her voice a fierce whisper now. "We can't afford to doubt each other. We have the power to change our fate if we trust ourselves." As if responding to her conviction, the shadows pulsated with life, swirling faster, feeding off the tension. The air crackled, and she felt the heartbeat of the stone quicken, surging through her palm. "Join me!" Anna cried, her heart pounding, her voice rising above the chaos. "Together, we face it." But just as they began to unite their energies, the creature lunged forward, the darkness boiling over as it merged with their growing light. A scream resonated, not only from the creature but from deep within themselves as well, a challenge that pushed against the very fabric of their beings. The moment hung in the air, straining with electricity as the universe seemed to hold its breath. "Will you dare to uncover the truth?" it wailed, shaking the very ground beneath them. "Will you be brave enough to change what you've always known?" Anna stared into the depths of the creature's eyes, felt the depths of its pain, and realized in that unsettling instant that the revelation was bigger than them all. Might this lead to our salvation or our doom? She wondered, the question twisting in her mind as the shadows lunged forward, hungry for their fears. The shadows writhed, swirling like a tempest, mingling with the brilliance of the stone's light. Anna's heart beat a frantic rhythm as she felt the weight of the moment press down on her, threatening to crush them all. The darkness poured in, tugging at the edges of her courage, ghostly whispers echoing haunting doubts in her mind. Can we truly face what lies beneath? Together. Michael's voice broke through the chaos, loud and resolute, solidifying their resolve. They tightened their grip, a circle of friends harnessing their collective strength against the swell of uncertainty. This is our moment. As one, they instinctively closed their eyes, focusing on the light emanating from the stone, allowing its warmth to seep into the chasms of their vulnerabilities. They could feel the shadows pressing against them, inching ever closer, but within the chaotic storm, they found clarity. Each pulse against the shadows was nothing less than a heartbeat, a thunderous affirmation of life. What if facing our fears means embracing the truths we've hidden? Sarah's voice broke through the noise, laced with both fear and hope. The shadows hesitated for just a moment, as if pondering the idea. What if coming to terms with them releases us? The creature roared again, but this time, the sound held a note of desperation and pain, as if reflecting their own. Anna opened her eyes, staring deeply into those dark, swirling depths. She saw past the fear, glimpsing a flicker of familiar longing, a wish for understanding, for acceptance. Let us show it. Anna cried, her voice igniting the air, show the shadows we're not afraid. And with that, they exhaled, releasing the innate fears that had haunted them. The wave of darkness writhed and recoiled, a creature startled by its prey discovering its power. As their shared light surged brighter, the shadows began to shrink, revealing flickers of hidden truths within. Fear is not our enemy. Anna shouted, determination roaring within her. It shapes us. It teaches us. The creature's growl turned into a whimper as it bowed under the combined force of their light. The tempest began to unravel, swirling with newfound energy as the darkness whistled away, revealing a softer, almost tearful shadow beneath the monstrous exterior. In that moment, Anna felt a connection. The creature's essence mirrored their own. Each of them carried shadows inside, pieces that seemed monstrous yet shaped their personal journeys. The guilt, the anger, the sorrow, they had all faced moments that had threatened to engulf them. But today, they chose to stand as one. It's okay. She whispered, her voice softer, almost gentle. We see you. You don't have to fight. You can be free too. The shadows flickered, wavering in the presence of acceptance. The creature hesitated, eyeing them as the shadows shimmering around it loosened, disentangling from its being. From the depths of the darkness, brighter colors emerged, vivid hues that danced and twinkled with promise and redemption. The beast began to dissolve, merging with the light, its presence shifting into something fragile and beautiful. With a final cry that echoed like 1,000 hopes colliding with despair, it transformed. Glowing motes spiraled into the sky, illuminating the night with spells of radiant light. The clearing brightened. As the heaviness peeled away, Anna gasped, a feeling of calm washing over her. We did it! She exclaimed, breathless happiness bubbling in her chest. But even as they reveled in the victory, the voice resonated through the air, gentle and wise. Remember, the shadows will always seek the light. The winds came alive, carrying the words, embedding them into the depths of their hearts. They stood there, hand in hand, gazing at the remnants of the night's turmoil. A shared understanding filled the air. They had faced their fears, not just for themselves, but for each other. The shadows no longer felt suffocating, they were reminders of their journey. This was just the beginning, Michael whispered, his eyes sparkling with the remnants of hope. Sarah nodded, breathless with realization. This is our story. Anna felt pride swelling within her, the revelation settling around them like a warm embrace. She smiled at her friends, their silhouettes bold against the now brightening sky. They faced the dawn together, a horizon filled with uncertainty and yet bubbling potential. In that moment, they understood. Life was filled with shadows, but they were stronger together, shoulders held high into whatever awaited them. They stepped forward into the new day, ready to embrace both light and dark as part of their journey, and as the colors of dawn painted the sky, one thing remained clear: they had chosen their path, bound by friendship and courage, their hearts forever changed. Now, listen closely. This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now, so you don't miss out on any of the exclusive stories coming your way. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm. It's the lifeblood of growth. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about how this epic conclusion unfolded. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Let us spread the magic.